Are Kanye West and Taylor Swift really ready to be friends? You're watching Cronkite Cut, where the entertainment news is a cut above the rest.
We're your hosts for the 2015 spring season.
I'm Austin Miller.
And I'm Sydney Eisenberg. Now, you know how the old saying goes, roses are red and violets are blue? Well, unless you ordered from 1-800-Flowers. If you ordered from that company, your Valentine's Day may have just been ruined. Customers not only received dead flowers, they were also greeted by half-melted chocolates. 1-800-Flowers apologized to customers profusely on Twitter, but to no avail. Now this just goes to show that the perfect Valentine's Day gift will always be Nutella.
NSYNC disappointed America this past Saturday when they didn't make an appearance on SNL's 40th anniversary episode. Fans across the country got their hopes up for a bye 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 reunion when they tweeted out, "Gee, it's good to be together again, hashtag SNL40, but a skitter performance featuring the boy band failed to materialize.
Now, do you want to know the secret to living to the age of 115? Emma Morano, the oldest woman in Europe, says the secret is just be single. She told the New York Times that she's been single since 1938. That's right, 1938. When asked why she didn't settle down again, she said she didn't want to be dominated by anyone. Morano also says eating 3 raw eggs a day helped keep her young. She's the 5th oldest person and has lived through 2 world wars. Now, I would totally love to live to being 115, but not a fan of eating raw eggs.
Kim Ye's start to New York Fashion Week went south after their daughter North refused to stop crying during Father Kanye's fashion show. Not only did she not stop crying during that show, but also the next day during Alexander Wang's fashion show. I guess she just wasn't having those fashion shows. Also, Kanye seemed upset himself whenever Taylor Swift did not make an appearance at his show. This was weird because the two have been thought to be turning over a new leaf and starting a new collaboration, but fans can relax. Taylor's rep came out the next day and said that it was just due to a scheduling conflict. Now we'll move to Jade Nicole Yabon, who will tell us a little more about how 50 Shades of Grey is not only dominating the box office.
Singer-songwriter John Legend admits to his new song, Glory, as being controversial. The song was written for the upcoming civil rights movement movie, Selma, and will be featured in the soundtrack. In the song, John Legend refers to the Ferguson trials and states that even though the lyrics are controversial, it is important to remember that Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. was controversial in his time as well. Common, who was featured in the song with John Legend, claims that while we have come a long way in civil rights movement, we still have a long way to go. On a lighter note, 50 Shades of Grey is not only taking the bestseller in the box office, the soundtrack has climbed to the top of the charts this week as well on iTunes. Featuring songs from The Weeknd, Ellie Goulding, and a remixed version of Beyoncé, the soundtrack has trumped Taylor Swift's 1989 album, which has been at the top of the chart for weeks. And while 50 Shades climbed to the top of the charts, highlighting the practice S&M in the bedroom, or playroom if you want to get technical, Ariana Grande and Nicki Minaj used a little bit of the S&M technique on stage at the NBA All-Star performance as well. Cameras had to quickly cut from showing pop star Ariana Grande spanking Nicki Minaj during Jessie J's Bang Bang. After the show, Ariana and Nicki exchanged public thank yous on Twitter to one another. Well, seems like they had a great time. And finally, surprise, hip-hop star Drake released his 17-track album called If You're Reading This, It's Too Late on iTunes overnight. Critics claim the album, which has been confused for a mixtape, is already striking gold since its release last week. That's all from me. I'm Jade Nicole Yabon. Back to you, Austin and Sydney.
With Oscars right around the corner, we brought in our very own Lindsay Nelson to give us her predictions.
Thanks, Sydney. Hey guys, and welcome to See or Not to See, where I tell you about all the films happening this week. However, this particular week, I'm going to be telling you about my favorite night, Oscar night, happening this Sunday. Now, everybody has their predictions, and of course, I have mine. My first prediction for lead actor would have to go to Eddie Redmayne, hands down, in The Theory of Everything. He did an excellent job of showing us what a man has to do to deal with ALS. My second prediction for lead actress would have to go to Rosamund Pike in Gone Girl. She scared me to death, but boy, was she convincing. She was maniacal. I would have to say for supporting actor Edward Norton in Birdman. He did an excellent job with an excellent cast, which leads me to supporting actress, where I would definitely give it to Emma Stone. She gave us a performance we hadn't seen from her before, and it paid off in billions. Now, for Best Picture, I know that Boyhood won the Golden Globes and all that, but I gotta tell you, it was rubbish. I just have to say that. It was an excellent idea, however, it was not executed well. It was focused on one idea and nothing else mattered, and it was very obvious. So therefore, I would have to give it to Birdman. It was well done from beginning to end. It was a beautiful tale about a man dealing with depression and bipolarism, and the cast did a phenomenal job. Check it out, and that's all I have for movies.
Next, we'll hear from Katie Malice, who's going to tell us a little bit about New York Fashion Week.
Fashion Week 2015 took over the Big Apple this past week, and there was definitely a unique mix of trends walking down the runway. One of the most popular two trends being feathers and fringe. Fringe was spotted all over the place at Spring 2015 runways. Coats, jackets, and skirts. It made an appearance for New York Fashion Week at big shows like Ralph Lauren and Mara Hoffman. Feathers have also made a comeback in both subdued and bold ways, and in all different colors. Spring is an apt time for sheer, and there was no shortage of this trend on the runway. New York Fashion Week embraced full-on transparent skirts, as seen in shows like Toga, Joseph, and Barbara Casasoya. The polo also made an appearance, and is being pegged as the crop top of Spring 2015. The slouchy knitted button-up is simple, stylish, and versatile. And speaking of slouchy, it's a trend all in its own. Designers like BCBG displayed long, loose dresses and flowy pants, while Mary-Kate and Ashley Olsen's The Row featured long, draping fabrics that completely concealed the model shape. Another popular trend is gingham, a lightweight, plain woven cotton cloth. It's being called charming picnic wear, and while the trend is sweet and girly, it received a dose of edgy with a cutout deep plunge, high slit, or whatever else. Whatever your favorite trend might be during New York Fashion Week 2015, there was definitely an array of unique choices to choose from. Back to you, Sydney and Austin.
Well, that's it for this week. Tune in next week whenever we cover all things Oscars.
Follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, and be sure to check out our website for e-news updates. See you next week. I'm Austin Miller.
And I'm Sydney Eisenberg.
Thanks for watching Cronkite Cut.